Creativity, the antidote to loneliness in midlife. Could your creative outlet and passion be the thing that saves your life? Well, we're going to look into that. For those of you who haven't watched any of my videos before, you'll know that I'm a huge advocate for encouraging people to find their creative passion and outlet. All right. So I'm going to share with you my story that's happened just this year. Should hopefully give you a bit of insight for those that are on a similar journey in their 40s especially. Things have changed in your life. Maybe you're feeling a little bit lonely because of these changes and you don't know how to navigate it. You never saw it coming. I'm in that same boat and I'm figuring it out all on my own because I don't have anyone really to ask. Well, yeah, I just don't really have anyone to ask that I feel comfortable that would get it. So here I am making videos about my experiences and how I overcome things so that you too, if you don't have anyone to ask, we don't feel like you can because you're in a bit of a unique situation, then hopefully my videos will help you out. So my name's Carl. I help those over 40 find, well, I guess their creative confidence and creative clarity so they know what they can go on to do. But even if that's not your thing, I'm sure there'll be something you get out of these videos that can benefit you. But yeah, I'm here to help those that are a bit older, going through these similar changes. Kookaburra, you might feel a little lost. I'll just stand here for a little bit and see if he sings again. Oh no, he fly. Oh, two of them just flying away. So yeah, and welcome back to the Ghost Course, which is my studio. Beautiful place, isn't it? It's very big, very low on rent. So, for me personally, creativity has become, well, it's more than a hobby. All right. That was a slightly steeper incline than I thought. Try not to be too puffed for my video. Maybe a sign that I need to do even more walking. So, when I was younger, as far as creative passions would go, I loved music. All right, I still love music. I tried my hand at playing instruments, singing, that sort of thing. Tried a few different things. In that front, I hung up playing the guitar when my first daughter was born. So when I was 23, 24 is when I hung up my guitar. I've never been back to it since. That was hard, but I got over it pretty quickly because my daughters, I had three of them in the end, became the love of my life and my positive distraction. So it was more than a fair trade if you ask me. I'm very happy with that. But I'm not talking about the creativity that you may have splashed into or dashed or tried out when you were younger or when you were a kid. All right. I'm talking about your creative outlet as an adult, especially once you hit over 40. Because what I found was that what I'm doing now was to become my creative focus. So creating videos, content creation they call it, as a content creator, this became my new hobby at first, but now I couldn't picture myself not doing it. There's a few different reasons. One, I just thoroughly enjoy it on its own, because I feel like I'm giving back a bit of me to those that have never met me but may find some benefit in what I share. Two, I've always been someone that feels like helping others, and so again, through these videos, I hope that I can help others over 40 that feel lost and lonely, and they sort of hit a bit of a wall going, man, I didn't see this coming. How do I navigate this space? What am I doing here? How do I ensure that I feel happy in the last years of my life? And yeah, for me, I came to that realization October 2024, started working through the loneliness of my own, and then by sort of May, I had this random impromptu decision that I wanted to give content creation a go and release my very first YouTube video on the 3rd of June 2025. So I'm only a few months into this, 3 months, but I won't be turning back. So how did this save my life? Now, a lot of people might think, oh, that's an over-exaggeration, or you're putting too much emphasis on what's happening in your life, or you know, people having a creative outlet. It's not that important. It's not that much of a big deal. Trust me, it is. When you hit a certain point in your life, regardless of what your background is or what's been happening, things change, and they can change on a number of levels, right? And it's not always just driven by a time frame like your age as such, although that was the case for me because it involved my kids being adults now. Gave me too much time to ruminate and get stuck in my own head from a negative perspective. So for me, that's what I guess the drive was to get out of that frame of mind. And I found that way of getting out of that frame of mind myself. That's why I'm here sharing. But this is what did it, was having that creative outlet that's brought so much positivity into my day, or at least what's left of my day. You know, because I can't do this. I don't do this full time. I work full time, and I've got a very busy house to get home to. But if I can stop literally on my way home and take half an hour to get a video done, that's all I need. And then literally another hour to get it ready and leave it uploading overnight. I've got the time to do that. And there's a lot of value in that. You know, I know some creators can spend a lot more time on their videos and getting very crafty with that element of it. I don't need that. That's not what I find enjoyment in when I'm doing this. I just know that what I'm sharing can have a benefit. And if it wasn't for finding this hobby turn into a passion, I think I could still be lost in my own head, which is not possibly that damaging right this minute, but the longer you stay there, the more normal it becomes. And for me, I would hazard a guess, it would form into actual depression if I stayed feeling lost and lonely for too long. That's why it's important for you to have something of your own that's creative. And I say it so openly because I view that anything you put your hand to, that is for you. The sun's come back out. Behind the clouds, just gonna put these on. Then that's a creative passion or element or outlet. So it can be anything. I don't care what it is. If you love it, get more involved with it, or at least acknowledge the fact that this is something you really enjoy and focus on that enjoyment so much more. If you love being in the kitchen and cooking, That's your creative space. If you love spending time with your dogs, taking them out for a walk, you're creating that time in that environment. That's still a creative outlet, in my opinion. You know, you could do one of the traditional arts and paint, draw, write, whatever it is, play music. You might want to build furniture, you know, whatever it is, just get into it. And there's so many things about it that you might like, you know, like you might just like the serenity of where you are. Like for me, getting out into places like this, love it. It might be the quietness of where you're at for that time that you're doing your creative piece, right? It might be even certain smells, like if you work with timber, you just might love the smell of timber. Maybe you love like yard work. I mean, it's work, but for some people, they actually find mowing lawns and trimming hedges and doing their gardening as being really relaxing. And if that's your thing, hey, that's your creative outlet. That garden is yours, that lawn is yours. That process, more importantly, is yours. So that's really what I wanted to bring up in this video, all right? You're not alone, definitely not alone. It's millions of us, billions of us that go through this for various reasons in our life, you know, whether it's age-related, health-related, or just, you know, an unfortunate circumstance puts us in a position that we question and find hard to get out of. Find something that you can call your own, okay? Get lost in that for a bit every now and then, and it'll do you the world of good. I so strongly believe that. I've got a few lines. I do this all the time now because by the time I'm getting towards the end of my video, I may not remember these. So I just want you to remember that if you're feeling stuck or lonely, start creating, all right? Don't do it for validation, just do it for you. So you're not doing it for anyone else. You might be surprised at how much lighter you feel. And if you were missing out on enough purpose in your day, that's what it also gives you. And that's what it gives me. So what's one creative outlet you've got? Or list them all if you've got multiple. You know, how many of you are fortunate enough to have had the same creative outlet your entire life? How many of you have experienced things like me and completely picked up something different or new in your older years or later years? Well, that's my cue to finish off now that I can hear a mower through these trees here. This side of the Ghost Range. Clearly, yeah, there's houses in the back there somewhere. Okay, till next time, look after yourself.